Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Minneapolis Northwestern N-Scale Model Railroad Monthly Video Journal. We take another look here at the Union Station project. Been working on finishing up a few little details on the main building. Got a few little light leaks to fix, as you'll notice in the pictures to come here in the video. Mostly though, the building's pretty much done. Working on some interior details. Got a few more things to add there. Little touch-ups here and there, but mostly the main terminal is pretty much done. Yeah, we'll take a little tour around here, see some different angles of the building. How it looks when the lights are on at night. Finally got all the lights in there, and looks pretty good. Of course, you can see some light leaks there I got to fix still. Then I look at the back of the station. You can see there's tracks running through there. Get an idea of what it looks like to be on the platforms behind the station. And speaking of details, I came across some nice little etched brass details. These are by a company called Scale Link Frets Cetera, and they make some nice little details. These are etched brass, and I looked for a weather vane that I could put on the top of the clock tower. So this seemed to fit very nicely, and put a little weather vane on the clock tower. So nice little finishing detail to put on the top of the project. Also, just a quick look what it might look like to pass through the station. This video is kind of rough. I had a battery operated locomotive with a camera on it, and just get an idea what it looks like to pass underneath those concourses at the back of the station if you're a passenger coming and going from the station. And a little tool I picked up, this handy little table saw to help cut some of these large pieces of foam core. For some reason I was just always a little off when I was cutting foam core, so this little thing's kind of handy. I keep the blade down a bit because if it's too high it starts to get a little hot and binds up on the styrene. So this is styrene based foam core, and cut one side, flip it over, cut the other side, and it works pretty well. Nice little table saw that I picked up off Amazon. Helps with cutting some large pieces of foam core that I'm using to build some of the streets and bridges that are surrounding the station. And here I'm building what is basically just a large foam core box that will be part of the big street that runs behind the station at the back of the layout. I'm going to call this Union Boulevard because it runs behind Union Station. That's a real clever name. Okay, so it's basically just a big box put together with a bit of hot glue and foam core. You'll see what it looks like once it's flipped over and put in place behind the station. And here you see kind of an overall view. That Union Boulevard box that I made is at the top of this photo. You can see the bridges on the north and south side of the station. Those are just big pieces of foam core. They're cut to shape, and using the same kind of structure that's underneath this platform that's holding up the station, supporting the station. Those big arched concrete beams. Here's a look at the street. There underneath you'll see those my concrete balsa beams, and starting to put in some of the same structure that's underneath the platform. Also another project, I'm going to add some traffic lights. This is a breadboard setup for the traffic lights, a little Arduino project to operate those lights. I've got a walk light and a wait light that I'm going to add to these for north and south, east and west traffic. You can see that it kind of goes through the sequence here. Sorry, this is a little bumpy. I posted this at double speed just so it wouldn't take so long to go through all the lights. And you can see it's got the left turn traffic that it's going to be supporting, left turn signals here for traffic, and then the other direction opposing traffic, left turn. So got about 16 lights in this little setup here, so a little bit of an expansion from the traffic light project I did last year, where it was just a few lights that I put in. And this adds some nice animation and interest to the layout. And this is just a little Arduino project, a little Arduino board that is operating those lights for me, and some small LEDs. So it's a simple little system. Took a little while to put together. Hoping I can do a little better job this time when I install this on the layout. The last one I did got a little messy, but I can take some lessons learned from that project and do an improved version on the layout here. You're going to have about 4 intersections where these lights will be on the station. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll add some interest to the station. And those traffic lights will be at the intersections here at north and south ends of the station. Probably right here I have a big intersection there where the left turn signals will be, and all the other traffic lights. Then along the back there's Union Boulevard, which is at the back of the layout, and another big intersection here. Of course, the scene will extend beyond the edges here. For now, though, I'm just kind of using the bridges here as a boundary for the project. So that comes all the way out to the front of the layout, and you can see this other street here, the South Street. This is kind of held together with some little flanges that I put in there to help kind of lock it together. And underneath you can see those concrete beams and the little plastic, little styrene I-beam structure that I'm putting in there. That's going to be identical to the beams you see underneath the station there. I got to put in the diagonal pieces yet to finish framing that up. But it's pretty simple. Whole thing is painted gray, and I got more details to add to that. Then I got to paint the asphalt color for the streets and add striping and other details in there. So that locks together nice. I got to figure out a way to help put them together on the other end as well. And I'm going to add some little gussets on these steel work underneath the stations. A friend of mine suggested I should add some gussets there to kind of beef up the structure a little bit. And you can also see a sample of the railing that will be used throughout the edges of the platform and the streets, and the lamp post. Those will be used on all the streets. I tried to add a little weathering to the roof here, some little brown patches there to try to add some weathering to the roof. And underneath the platform, the station platform, there will be some tracks running. I've got a few added here. I've got one more to put in there. And trains will actually be running right underneath the station there. Those are actually some of the main lines running through underneath the station. And another look at some of the details on the streets here. This is where one of the lighted intersections will be. Another traffic light set here for this intersection on the south side of the station, and on the north side will be another set of lights. And in the back of the station, I'm going to have to be real careful here because my clearances turned out to be a lot tighter than I wanted to. I should have given myself a little more space, say, between the platforms. So I've got to be real careful. Checked everything runs through there, but just barely enough space to run through. So I just have to be really careful where I put the station, because that's connected to the platform and the platform's connected to the streets. So I have to be real careful about placement of where all these structures finally sit. So I hope I can get it all to fit together so I don't have trains bumping into the concourses. Well, that's kind of a quick wrap up on where I'm at on the station. I hope you enjoyed this little update, And thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for staying. Thanks for watching. And everyone stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.